tonight's agenda from any of the board members? Nope. Okay. I will hand it over to Dr. Ryan Toy for the superintendent's report.
Thanks. The first item on the superintendent's report is we have some students here from Hollywood School. So I'm going to introduce your principal and Ms. Nelson to come and share a little bit about who's here tonight, and I think we'll hear directly from them, right?
Good evening, wow, it's amplified. Whoa. I told all the students, the microphone is not to amplify your voice. But it
That
is
used to
to
be
amplify
true.
your voice. That is wrong. Good evening, Honorable District 96 School Board members. Thank you so much for inviting Hollywood School this evening to share a little bit about what we do that makes it a great place for our Huskies. Many of you know that I am extremely proud of the variety of extracurricular activities, clubs that we have at Hollywood. Ms. Nelson is here with the Student Council, and Ms. Nelson happens to sponsor 4 of our clubs. In addition to Student Council, she does the gardening club, the book club, and the volunteer club. And so I'd like to introduce Ms. Nelson.
Hello, so the students will tell you everything that you need to know. They'll tell you who we are and what we did at Hollywood. So I'm going to invite them up, and we're going to begin. All right, so you guys can all stand right here, and hope you are first. You guys can spread. Alex, I'll have you sit. Good job. No, you can cross. Good stuff. All right.
Hi, I am Hope, and I am from 5th grade.
And we'll just introduce all of our students up here first. So Grace.
Hi, I'm Grace from 3rd grade. Hi, I'm Amanda from 3rd grade. Hi, I'm Penelope, and I'm in 4th grade. Hi, I'm Leo, and I'm in 4th grade. Hi, I'm Tommy, and I'm from 4th grade. Hi, I'm Owen, and I'm in 5th grade.
And hi.
You're good.
And hi, I am Alex.
We are the Hollywood School Student Council, and we are going to talk about the mock election at Hollywood School. Who are we? We are Hollywood Student Council, a program run by Ms. Nelson. Student Council is made up of 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students. We have 3 3rd graders, 4 4th graders, and 9 5th graders. To get on Student Council, we have to fill out an application and be chosen based on the answers to our questions.
Activities that Student Council does for Hollywood. We run a gotcha store. Kids can earn gotchas by being respectful, responsible, and safe, or following the theme of the month. The gotcha store is where kids can spend their gotchas and buy toys or special tickets, like Choose the Dance Friday song or lunch with the teacher. We also do service projects. We made luminaries for the PTA around wintertime. We made lots of cards for World Kindness Day and put them around the school. We also collected toys for tots and tied blankets for cancer patients. Why we decided to do the mock election. We decided to do a mock election because we did one 4 years ago and the students really enjoyed it. The election is just for fun, so we chose chocolate and vanilla ice cream as our candidates. We wanted to teach kids about the election, and that is why we decided to do a mock election.
In our choosing the candidate. In our student council meeting after school, we brainstormed some ideas on what to vote for. We saw of different candy flavors, music artists, songs, food, favorite subject in school, and more. It came down to vanilla and chocolate ice cream. We then start campaigns for banana and chocolate ice cream. At our monthly town hall meeting, in the beginning of October, we announced that there would be a mock election at Hollywood. We announced that there would be an I Voted sticker contest, and we announced the candidates. I Voted sticker contest. The I Voted sticker contest is for all students to participate in. A lot of students participated and drew a design. A doctor in our school chose 10 stickers to be voted on by the students, and they made sure to choose at least one student from each grade level as a candidate. Every student in the school voted for their favorite sticker. Our winner was Charlie Campos from 5th grade, one of our very own student council members. These are the stickers the student council could vote for. We had stickers with our school theme, ice cream and red, white, and blue flags.
Promoting our candidates. When promoting our candidates, we made posters with pictures and words, along with commercials that could convince a student to vote for vanilla or chocolate ice cream. Some posters were promoting one candidate, while others were not, and just talked about what an election is. We made separate groups, and they each made 2 to 3 posters for each candidate. Everyone in student council went around the school to find places to put the posters. We also showed our campaign commercials at lunch on October 30th to all the kids. Voting day. On voting day, each grade got to vote for vanilla or chocolate ice cream. All students and adults had to sign in to get their ballot. You could choose a paper or electronic ballot. After everybody voted, they got an I Voted sticker. When it was time to vote, a grade level would go to the art room and sign in to get their ballot. Here are the directions for voting. Here are some pictures of our kindergartners and first graders with their voted identification cards.
Here are some pictures. Here are some pictures of our Huskies using voting paper or electronic ballots. Mrs. Quas, our kindergartner teacher, shared, I felt like the voting was a lot of fun, and it also helped the kindergartners to know what voting is, and that you can only vote for one choice. And Connor, a fifth grade student, said the election was good, and I think there are some pictures. Here are some pictures of our Huskies casting their ballots and getting their I Voted sticker.
Election results. The election results were very, very close, but chocolate won by 5 votes. The voting results were announced at our all-school town hall meeting on the same day we voted. There is a slide on our town hall meeting PowerPoint that showed the voting results. There was a lot of cheering when chocolate won. On Friday, every student had an ice cream treat during lunch. We even had ice cream for kids with allergies. Miss Nelson brought in a small cooler with the ice cream in it. Miss Nelson gave the kids with allergies their ice cream first, and then she gave ice cream to the other kids. Everyone was so excited.
Our Huskies really enjoyed eating ice cream during lunch.
about there being campaign commercials. So did you guys make commercials?
Yes.
Yes. Is anyone here? Did anyone here make? If anyone here made a campaign commercial, raise your hand.
You guys
I think we all did.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and something.
How did you do that?
What we did is we had some of our students film on a website to make the commercials, and we had one for vanilla to vote for that, and chocolate, and all about everything that people liked about those different flavors.
Very cool.
I have to say, I've been on the school board for about 2 years, and this was one of the most well-done presentations that we've seen. You guys knocked it out of the park. Your presentation were clearly communicated. You had great quotes in some of your work, which was amazing. And I'm really proud of you guys. It's so fun for us as a board. We actually all were elected in order to sit up here. So we were on a ballot at one point, and our community members voted for us. And so it's really neat to see what you guys are doing after school. And thanks for coming, and thanks to all your parents for bringing them here.
Do we have any questions from the audience? Yes.
What ice cream did you really want?
Owen, you want to take a
Razor?
poll of our group?
What about what about
I very much wanted vanilla to win. A lot of people agree with me.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a percentage that agreed.
I wanted chocolate to win.
I wanted vanilla to win.
I also wanted vanilla to win.
I wanted vanilla to win. I wanted chocolate to win. I wanted vanilla to win. I wanted vanilla to win.
Well, and when we did the commercials and the posters, I just split them up, not like based on which one they wanted to vote for. And some of them were like, but I don't want vanilla to win. And I was like, well, we're making a poster for vanilla. Because we needed both candidates to have some proper promoting. So, yeah.
I was there on the town hall day that the results were announced, and as you said, people were very excited the chocolate won, but some people were very sad that vanilla lost.
It was.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I-
There were tears.
There were tears, yeah.
It's a good love story.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't always give it.
well, if the student council got to decide, I would say vanilla would have won.
Sounds like it.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
All right, that was great. The other thing my next item on the superintendent's report is just an update on the Hollywood playground repair, and our equipment is in, and we're hoping it was going to get installed on January 20th because we have the day off of school, and I'm looking for Mr. Fitton if we know for sure if it's a little bit weather dependent. It's been pretty cold, right? So the Hollywood playground equipment, this group is particularly interested in that. Yeah. Jim, do we know if it's going to be installed on Monday, the Hollywood playground equipment? Okay. It's coming. As soon as there's enough, the ground isn't too frozen so it can be installed. It's here, all the repaired equipment, so that's good news. You have a question?
I have a comment to say about the voting.
Yeah.
Well, technically, it was a win-win. Because the ice cream came in packs, and the only ones that you could get were, you had to get vanilla, and half vanilla, half chocolate.
So people got what they wanted.
Yeah, people got what they wanted anyway, because we couldn't get all the chocolate. We had all vanilla, or half vanilla and half chocolate.
That's good when it works out that way. Good.
I'm glad it worked out for them.
We did have those.
Yeah.
No third-party chocolate chip.
Any write-in candidates?
Right. Speaking of playgrounds and such, I do have just a brief update. I know the board has been following where we are with the Blythe Park IGA, the IGA that would establish some clarity around land use that will allow us to improve the playground that's over at Blythe, and then allow the village to address a basketball court. And Historic Preservation did meet about the Blythe Park IGA on January 8th. And they had some comments to share, but they did pass that along now to the Park Board, which will meet on January 27th. My understanding is Blythe Park residents in the area have all been invited to attend that public meeting. I think it is open to the public. Other people could come and give comment if they were interested in that. I know the village is also re-examining the title search, the same title search we did, to see if they can get any greater clarity around the land ownership in that area behind Blythe Park School. And they anticipate that the next conversation at the village trustee level would be February 6th. Not necessarily clear that they'd establish their agreement with the IGA, but would probably have some additional direction for us. But I'm then reasonably hopeful that the Board of Ed, that all of you would have an opportunity to then look at the IGA at the February or March board meeting potentially. So we continue to move that forward to the best of our abilities that we can. And as we know, we're looking at possibly summer of 2026 as a project timeline to update a playground in that area. Just a couple other things, always trying to add some excitement to for families here in the cold winter months. We have our Family Learning Night. This year is going to be a focus on literacy, and that's scheduled for February 26th. So I have information about that. Flyers will be coming out soon on that to all families. Our virtual kindergarten information night, as you know, we moved that into a virtual format a number of years ago, is March 6th, which then also kind of kicks off and opens up our registration period for families. And then there is a proclamation in honor of the Riverside Sesquicentennial, and David and Wesley joined me on a very cold evening about 2 hours ago, right, to see the water tower lit up with the Sesquicentennial 150-year emblem. And then it was really special. Our students, I think it was 4th grade art students, designed luminaria that were all around the water tower area. So that looked really nice, and it's nice to know that our students had a role in celebrating the Sesquicentennial. So there is a proclamation.
And Molly Castor was there.
And Molly
So
Castor
she's
was there,
gonna
took
try
some
to
pictures.
Wrap this
yeah.
into some kind of communication to help us get that story out there too.
Yes. Do you want me to read the proclamation, or you all can read it yourselves? We're good?
I don't think we need to read the
Okay.
whole thing. But
Perfect.
It's out there for the public to read if they would like.
All right. Okay. That's it.
All right. Thank you. With that, could I get the board secretary to read tonight's consent agenda?
Tonight's consent agenda consists of minutes of the following previous meetings. The December 4th Committee of the Whole meeting, the December 18th regular business meeting. The personnel report is presented. The payables pre-list as of December 31st, along with the payables pre-list as of January 15th. The employee recognition event for 2024-2025, and an employee wellness event for 2024-2025.
Thank you. Is there a motion for the board to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Before we vote, does anybody want to remove anything from here for further discussion? No? Okay. Kathy, could you call the roll?
Okay. Mr. Marvel?
Aye.
Mr. Barsadi?
Aye.
Mr. Hunt?
Aye.
Ms. Gunn?
Aye.
Ms. Kalick?
Aye.
Ms. Claps?
Aye.
And Mr. Muirhead?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, and that recognition event is May 9th, so mark your calendars. May 9th, boom, okay. So we moving on to board member comments. Any events or activities or anything that anybody has participated in that they would like to comment on before we move into old and new business? I think we had I think we have winter
There's a
break.
line from one of the Christmas songs that mentions Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. I think I personally were basking in the glow of that line.
Yeah. I know the end of that 2 weeks, I was very much looking forward to Monday, that's for sure.
I was scared that Monday it was gonna be like a snow day. I was like, yeah.
No.
No, dropped like crazy. I was like, with inclement weather coming, which what we've been okay so far.
It's always nice to have the break, and it's always nice for the break to end. So, okay. I'm sure we'll have more commentary at the next meeting with the school kicking back in. So that brings us to one item of old business and 2 items of new business. So the only old business item we have on here is the student behavior policy that we've been kicking around. And I'll hand it over to you, Martha, but I think if I'm reading this correctly, you had sent us a note related to some details of Terry Engler, I believe, right? And so the lawyer that we've been working with on this policy, if I'm reading it correctly, I don't think we had any changes from the last discussion, but just some more clarification from her on why she's recommending that particular language. So I'll just kind of give it to you for more detail on that.
Right, what Terry Engler clarified, and that's what I wanted to make sure we were clear, that our policy states that students who bring firearms to school must be expelled. And I think there was a question about that being a must, and it is federal law that students who would bring a firearm to school must be expelled. Terry did remind me that a period of expulsion can be anywhere from 11 days, so it's sort of the maximum time a child can be suspended is 10, so once it's over 10, it would be 11, obviously, and up to 2 years. So I know as much as we do not allow students to bring firearms or weapons to school, I don't want to sound like we're being lenient there, but we would certainly want to understand the unique student issues that might contribute to something like that and be in a position to address that. So really there's no language change. I know the language is a bit confusing, but I think the interpretation is clear, and again, would hope that we never have to address that, but wanted us to be clear on our District 96 recommended edits. I know there was also a suggestion that perhaps we should share this policy, our edits, with the IASB press group, so it will go back to them because they have to insert it for us in our policy, online manual and paper manual. So, any questions?
I appreciated the clarification on the expulsion period under paragraph 1, that we're not limited to it being like at least 1 calendar year, that there's even flexibility, which I had said, I was like, I read it as that, like, does that mean it could be less than? So good to know the less than is at least 11 days. So I think our goal was to be able to provide flexibility for these, case by case situations, and I feel confident that this policy allows us to do that going forward in either of these scenarios.
That's the only part that still bothers me, is this language says shall be for a period of at least 1 calendar year, but her legal opinion is federal law, which is what's quoted here or referenced here, I think would be the U.S. Code 921. Yeah, United States Code 921. So, I mean, she seems extremely confident. This is the 3rd time she's given us this directive, so I don't want to keep questioning it. It just feels weird the way that it's written. But her advice is that it's written the way that we want it structured, so I'm okay with that at this point. I don't know, Selena, I don't want to pick on you directly, but you had some comments around it too, so I just want to make sure you're comfortable with it as well.
Sort of alleviated my concerns around it, and having as Stephanie said, the detail around the duration of the expulsion period is super helpful.
So I don't know, Marlo, Dave, Joel, Dan, any comments comfortable moving forward with it? Okay. All right, so is there a motion for the, I don't have my motions up. I don't have motions in here. Did I have the wrong one?
I think there is.
To approve.
Oh, I clicked the wrong box.
Policy 7.
All right, is there a motion for the Board of Education to approve the changes made to policy 7:190, the D96 edits as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Kathy, can you call the roll?
Mr. Barsadi?
Aye.
Mr. Hunt?
Aye.
Ms. Gunn?
Aye.
Ms. Kalick?
Aye.
Ms. Claps?
Aye.
Mr. Marhol?
Aye.
And Mr. Merhead?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
All right, that's it for old business. New business, first item here is the draft of the school calendar for the 2025-2026 year. And I assume we'll invite up Dr. Dolezal to chat with us about this. So, saw you in those pictures. You just wanted the ice cream.
I was not there for the
Oh, you
town
weren't there
hall,
for the
so I
ice
didn't
cream.
get to see
Okay.
the announcement,
All right.
and I wasn't there the day they had it for lunch.
Oh.
I just was one of the
Just there for the pictures.
63 votes that voted for vanilla. So there, yeah. I was actually there for an interview for the Hollywood Husky newspaper about
okay.
CKLA's adoption. So
Okay.
I happened to be there at the time they were voting, and then Penelope presented tonight. She was one of the people interviewing me, and they asked if I wanted to vote as well. So I casted my electronic vanilla ballot. So
Everybody's very open with their votes.
because it's all for fun. So what you have in front of you is the draft calendar proposed by the calendar team that met before winter break. Most of you might remember that the calendar, we set our calendar based off of, when I go to the team, I start with when is RB's winter break, when is their spring break, so that we're at least lining our breaks. And then we have to have 176 student attendance days. We have four, and then we have 4 institute days. We have past practice, had 2 institute days at the beginning of the year, 1 in October and 1 in February. And so we looked at what it would look like if we went with past practice. We also, as a team, agree that we want to maximize student learning. So we try to have very few 3-day weeks, and look for, if we're going to have an institute day or if there is a day off anywhere, that we try to make it a 4-day week where possible. We often have a lot of great conversations at the calendar team meetings every year, and different ideas are proposed and suggested, and some of them are things we talk about possibly bringing forward that year, and some of them are things that lead to great thought and conversation for upcoming years. This calendar team was no different. They came with a few ideas on things that they would like to look at, possibly adjusting and changing, and they weren't changes that we felt we were ready to make this year, because we know that there are things that need conversation around them. So just some of the ideas that were brought forth might be looking at when we have our parent-teacher conferences. And that is something that we are looking at as a district also, and talking more about, do we have formative conferences? Do we move them to like October, or probably just October, not October, or to have more of a formative conference with parents, guardians, to talk about how your student is currently doing and how can they improve before the end of the term, or do we leave them as a summative conference, as they are right now in November at the end of a trimester, and say, this is how your kid did, and this is what we're going to do moving forward. So that's a conversation we're having with the standards-based grading committee, with our leadership team, and it's something that has come up with the calendar team as well. And we've also talked about is the structure of, this year's calendar team talked about is the structure of conferences Thursday, come to school Friday, and conference on Monday, the best structure, or was there another structure we might want to look at? And so these were things that are discussed. Ultimately, we know that there needs to be a little bit more conversation around any types of changes like that that involve conferences and impact the community. So I'm coming to you with this draft proposal, which mimics what we usually see. So you're seeing a start date for students of August 20th, with 2 institute days before that, and school year ending on Friday, May 29th. Spring break would occur, like I said, along with RB's spring break, winter break is what I'm looking at first, which is December 22nd through January 2nd, and spring break next year would be March 30th through April 6th. And that April 6th Monday is because we often have a non-attendance day on what is known as Good Friday for most, and in the 2026 year, Good Friday falls within the spring break time frame, so that non-attendance day ends up being tacked onto our spring break time. We'll continue with our half day of professional learning in April, and then you do see the other 2 institute days in October following Indigenous People Day, and February following or prior to President's Day. So this year, the proposal for the 25-26 calendar does mimic what we usually do, but as I said, we're going to start having some conversations about possible changes in the future as well. Any questions for me about the calendar? Oh, and then summer school dates will be Monday, July 14th through Thursday, August 7th. And we are currently working on our catalog of classes for our enrichment classes. And we're beginning to work on enrollment for our skill building classes as we're right now doing our progress, our winter benchmarking. So we're seeing where students are with their growth from the fall to winter, and then we monitor winter to spring. But right now we start taking a baseline of students that we'll be inviting to skill building as well. So are there any questions about the draft calendar or anything else that I said?
So we only have one half day, and I know we talked around options of a second one, but I think we only had one this year too, right?
Correct.
Not
So, yeah, April, the last Friday in April is the half day that we have had. We have this year, we had last year, and so we
same day,
continued
okay.
that for the 25-26 year. That is another thing we talked about with the calendar committee is, would it be possible to add an additional half day, possibly professional learning day? And we talked about where we might place that. But because that would be an additional day of professional learning, which is also something that's partially contractual, and it's time for negotiations right now, we held off on suggesting another half day until we see where contract negotiations go, because we don't want to suggest something outside of negotiations. We want to make sure we are following best practices with negotiations.
My only other comment is spring break feels awful late, but I know you said it's aligned with RB. I'm just curious. I don't think it's ever, I can't think of it ever going into April.
It has, so it's going to impact testing.
Okay.
And when I noticed it was going to impact state testing, I did look historically to see, has this ever happened before? And I don't have it off the top of my head, but I can tell you it has happened at least 2 other times where it did go to April 6th then also. So it doesn't happen often, but it has happened a couple of times. In terms of testing, it's actually interesting because this is something we talked about last year actually. We are most likely going to move testing to before spring break because we don't have enough time between April 6th and the state window closing on the 17th to make sure we get all testing done and makeups done. So we're going to have to most likely move testing to before spring break. And then we'll be able to do some action research to see how do our scores, how do we perform before break compared to how we've traditionally performed after break. And then to the conversation we had at the board table last year, we may look at moving that, making that change for good.
That's a good opportunity to take advantage of that. And I'm not arguing the point, because if it aligns with RB, I'm totally behind that, and I think that makes sense. But is there a reason why the calendar started at the same time, so it doesn't seem like a calendar issue. Is there a particular reason why they set it that late?
So I can't speak to that.
Well, I know they do follow kind of a 7-year, they look at when, how the weeks fall and then try to always pick the same. So I would assume somewhere we've been this sort of into those first few days of April.
First week of April rings.
Yeah, so it's last week of March or last
Yeah.
full week.
It's still odd because there's 12 weeks before spring break and 8 weeks after, which is kind of lopsided. It's not very even in terms of the distribution.
The other thing that happened, so everybody sort of has their pattern. So we always follow RB, as do the other elementaries that feed into RB. We don't want families to have different spring break and winter break schedules. But this year we also found it's not any sort of requirement that we have, is that RB and Lyons Township High School did not match up. And so we had a good number of staff members who children attend schools in those, like what I would call the Lyons Township feeder districts, which is all, ideally we match up spring break for all our families and for staff members. That didn't happen this year. And so I know RB did look to make sure that they were also connected with LT this year. So maybe that pushed it to that
Okay.
other week. I don't know for sure, but I think it's a good week also because it encompasses Easter. So when Easter falls in that early April timeframe, I guess it can sometimes fall in late March, right?
I'm not challenging our
Yeah.
choice. It's just it's a weird.
Yeah, trying
Yeah.
to give some context and rationale for it.
Those were my only two observations. I'm good with it.
All right,
All
thank
right.
you very much.
Thanks.
Okay.
Is this set, like, when will this set?
So we'll bring it then for February board approval under old business. Sometimes, are you thinking, sometimes I will notice that people are starting to call the district office and ask about dates. Is that kind of what you're wondering, that families
Yeah.
might want to know
Yeah,
sooner?
No, I'm just sort of curious when it's set, when, like, you know.
It's official
It's
when we
going to
vote
be
for
shared.
it. So,
But that
but
timeline sounds right. Last year we had,
Yeah.
I know, and we had to kind of go back to the drawing board because the last day
Yeah.
of school was like a Monday, voting, and like there were just weird things. But this seems, fairly straightforward, other than maybe a little wonky spring break. But I recall, typically February. But once parents see a draft with this meeting, they start to wonder, okay, is it, when is it for sure? When can I start
Right.
making and booking and
Right. We could post it as a draft with, sort of, I think we've done that before because post as a draft, say we anticipate board action at February board meeting.
yeah. Would everybody be okay with that? Because last year, to your point, we had asked for some potential modifications, so I didn't feel as comfortable doing that. But we're not asking for any changes. So
I'm honestly not that worried about it.
yeah.
If someone is so interested, they can go to our agenda.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
could.
But to answer your question directly, it's official when we vote on it to be
In
official.
February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But since we're not, I'll probably. I always have a couple of people that ask me about this time of year, so I will just let them know
I
it
did
is
have
out
someone
there.
at
And
Cub Scouts ask about
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
Okay.
if you're comfortable with it, I could post it as a draft. I know,
Fine.
I agree, they could find it in the agenda. Riverside TV has probably now featured it up on YouTube.
It's
So,
fine.
yeah.
Put a big
I would-
draft
Yeah.
watermark
Yeah.
over the front, and you're
just in
good.
case.
Okay.
But it doesn't sound like we're gonna modify anything between now and February, so I don't have any issue with that. Personally. Okay. All right, and then our last item was kind of a last minute ad. Martha brought this to my attention. I think you had told me RB's voting on this.
They
with their,
voted
or
this-
they already voted?
yep.
Okay.
Lansing voted this morning on it.
Okay. I personally haven't had a chance to get too detailed with this, but I figured it'd be good to just bring it as a starting dialogue. You can kind of help us understand what it is that we're doing here, and then if anybody has any questions, and then we can bring it back next month for more of an official vote. But I guess this is just in support of this resolution from what you and I had talked about. So I don't know if you want to elaborate more
Sure,
on that.
and we attached just a brief article that is right out of the IASB journal. I think it's the first few pages. I don't know if it's an article, it's more of a story, information for all of you. Really represents, there used to be a Vision 2020, now it's Vision 2030, with the idea that State Board of Ed, Illinois Association of School Boards, Illinois Association of School Administrators, school business officials. It's essentially, it's the strategic plan. It's their strategic plan, it's their long-range vision for ensuring high-quality public education in the state of Illinois. So it's something that I know these professional organizations ask local school boards to endorse and approve. So yes, introducing Vision 2030. So they have a resolution here. We can move it to old business for formal action at the February board meeting. If people have any questions, I'm happy to answer to the best of my abilities, but I think it really talks about ensuring high-quality staff, ensuring adequate funding, and then ensuring an idea of a future-focused education for our students.
Martha, you said there's an article attached?
It's not really an article. It's that part you just pointed out to me, Joel. It's
Oh,
the introductory
okay.
pages. I don't know if it's
this?
fair to call it an article. Yeah, but I thought it was a good. It's a good overview, like 2 pages.
It's an editorial.
It's an editorial. I attached an editorial from the Illinois Association of School Boards about Vision 2030.
I remember there were like sessions at the conference on
Yeah.
this and different, like kind of, I don't know, marketing or trying to generate and raise awareness of what school boards can be doing to, kind of help fulfill their
Yeah, and I think
vision.
it's asking for this publicly stated commitment to the future of public education, which I think is not an issue for local school board members. But it's I don't want to say it's just symbolic, but I think there's an intention, sort of symbolically, that school boards endorse this big idea.
Martha, it says that there's some talking points
Yeah,
available.
So you had shared this, which was like a forward of a forward of a forward. Can we just get that out to? Because there's like some links in here.
Oh,
I just,
sure, yeah.
I haven't had a chance
Yeah.
to like dig into each one of these. It's Martha had shared this from
I'm sorry, I wasn't.
Dr. Skinkus, and so it was just some chatter of like, do we want to put this? As we were planning the agenda, I got that. So that I don't, like I said, I haven't had a chance to just sit down and click through. There's a toolkit here. There's the IllinoisVision2030.com website that has the resolution and a couple other things in it. So this might be useful for you all to have if you want to dig in a little bit more before next meeting.
Thank
Because
you.
if we're going to vote on it and support it, you should probably understand what we're voting on and supporting. So make sure you're in agreement with it.
Best practice, yes.
So, okay.
Thank you.
That is it on that. Figured it would be good just to get it in front of everybody and have an open discussion on that it's there and that we should research that a little bit more and we can discuss in more detail at the next meeting. Okay. With that, unless there's any further questions on this topic, that is all we had for new business. Okay. So that ends the topics that we had, and I'm assuming no more public comment or no additional public comment, Kathy, if nobody here. So future meeting dates, February 5th, 2025, will be a committee of the whole meeting at 7 p.m. Blythe Park Elementary. February 19th, 2025, regular business meeting at 7 p.m. here in the in the Hauser Auditorium. We doing awards or something?
Yes.
Okay. March 5th, Committee of the Whole, 7 p.m., multipurpose room at Central Elementary School. And then March 19th, regular business meeting, 7 p.m. here in the Hauser Learning Resource Center. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.